Welcome to this edition of From the Vault, presented by the Canadian Motorsport Hall of Fame. I'm your host, Todd Lewis. Today, we will begin the show with some karting. Most young racers begin their career in karting. It's a great way to start and hone one's driving skills. The Barrie Grand Prix was one of the biggest karting events in the country in the 1990s. Next up from the Vault is the 1995 karting event through the streets of Barrie, Ontario.
From world driving champion Michael Schumacher to Indy stars Paul Tracy and Scott Goodyear, the best share two things in common. They started young, and they started in karts. Because for high-speed, wheel-to-wheel action, there is no better finishing school than kart racing. At speeds of more than 150 kilometers per hour through the streets of one of Canada's most beautiful cities, this is the Grand Prix of Barrie on TSN. Hello again, everyone. Vic Rauter along with John Powell, motor racing analyst and an executive of the Ontario Kart Racing Association. Welcome to Barrie, Ontario, about 75 kilometers north of Toronto. In the last 10 years, Canada's fastest growing city with a population of some 70,000, and certainly one of this country's prettiest, situated on Kempenfelt Bay on Lake Simcoe. As we see the parade of drivers here, John, and led by Mayor, Her Honor, Janice Laking. Over 400 drivers from right across North America have come to Barrie to compete in various classes.
Vic Rauter, these are sophisticated machines, a tube frame, a simple engine, no suspension, and the weight of the kart and driver classifies it by the class. Either 4-cycle, which is a lawnmower engine, or 2-cycle, which is a race-bred 18,000 RPM racing engine.
And as you'll see, this is very much a family sport, karting. You'll see boys, girls, and adults in the 4 races we show you today from Barrie, Ontario.
The mums, the dads, they all get together, they pull for their kids.
Oh yeah, they support me. They're all involved. They all come down to the track every weekend and support me and my brother while we race for the whole day. Oh, I'd hope to make it to IndyCars in the long run down the road. If I could, I'd like to make it that far.
Well, certainly he wouldn't be the first to go from karting to IndyCars, but Anthony's going to face some tough competition from his good friend, Giuliana Cioviti.
My mother was involved with getting my sponsors. My dad's my mechanic with my brother, and my brother sells parts and makes money for us. It's our whole family's involved.
All right, John, why don't you take us on the tour of this 0.8-kilometer track?
Riding in a Sony Handycam-equipped 2-cycle kart with Glenn Bunnett down Collier Street, along the S's onto Dunlop Street, around Fred Gant Square, under the War Memorial, and uphill onto Owen Street. It is tight, it is fast, with tremendous elevation change, and as you can see, very bumpy. A challenge is to come out of the last corner and down the straightaway.
Everything we'll see happens very quickly in karting as we get ready for the Coca-Cola Junior Heavy.
They're 15 years old. The kart and drivers weigh 280 pounds. 12 and 15 have never been on the pole before. Rozelkowski and Butterwitz.
The right-hander on the Muncaster. And we've got problems through the S's, karts up and over, and drivers are out of their karts.
Rozelkowski gets loose. He comes across and mayhem. Now, what happens here, Vic, in karting, the driver is thrown out. There are no seatbelts. That way, they avoid injury. Let's look at it again. From the back of Giuliana Cioviti's kart. That is Simone.
The right-hander under Muncaster. And there you saw the car lose control. And we can tell you that the 3 drivers, only one, Brandon Easy from Grimsby, Ontario, the 15-year-old, separated his shoulder. Everyone else involved, thankfully, is okay. As we get ready for the restart of this junior heavy.
Rozelkowski is on outside. Butterwitz is on the pole. They get a chance to do it again. And Brandon Easy was around in 15th spot. Will not start the race. They slow them down, nice and easy, lined up. And one kart popped out early. They got the green, Vic. Are they clean through one?
It was interesting that number 15 of Rozalkowski, he wasn't sure whether the green was going to come out or not.
12 Butowitz is in the lead, and 72 is Junior Farrelly in second.
Off of Dunlop Street, now the right-hander around the Fred Grant Square, right in downtown Barrie. The quick left-hander, this will take them up Owen, back to a right-hander, which will take them on to the start-finish street of Collier.
Very tight action here. Notice number 3, Juliana Chiaviti, in third place. Occasionally pulls out from the draft to have a look to see if she's got enough to go by, but it's so close.
The leader is Butkowitz.
72 is Farrelly, 3 is Chiaviti, and 52, that sensation from St. Thomas, Tim Morphy.
Now, you talk about drafting. How important is it? Because it really is a train.
It's a train, Vic, in the corners. Down the straightaways, the draft is very important, but they can't get out of line, because if they do, they'll lose speed.
Simone to the inside, and Simone has clipped the back of the leader, driving number 12, Butkowitz. Butkowitz is now out, and Simeone as well.
That's right. Simone just touched at the back of the cart, pulled into the hay bale, spun around, and now Junior Farrelly is in the lead, followed by Ryan Conium, number 46. Conium's father used to race super modifieds in Oswego, so this is a real racing father. As Barrie looks pretty good, and you can see a little bit of hay on the close. There's Butkowitz. What has happened when Simone touched him from behind, it bent his throttle back. He wasn't getting full throttle, so now he's having trouble getting going again. He is not a happy camper.
Well, that's unfortunate for Butkowitz, as he seemed to be comfortably in the lead, and you can tell he's angry at the fact that Simeone tried the inside move and then clipped it.
And it's so tight, and he's about to get lapped. And there goes Melanie Duranez in 16, a young lady from Montreal trying to get by Juliana Chiaviti. And she pulls out again, not enough horsepower to get by.
And notice that the racing rules apply. You saw the blue flag come out to say, Butkowitz, move over, you're going to be passed.
Yellow flag. Notice how the racers hold their end up through the yellow situation. Very good racing discipline. Farrelly looks awful strong here, but look at Chiaviti, always looking for a way by.
You get the feeling, John, that you race these karts flat out. There really is no acceleration. I mean, you race it.
You've got 5.5 horsepower of lawnmower cutting capability. You can't lift off the gas. And these guys, they use a little bit of the brake. The brake is the left foot, the gas is the right foot. A little bit of brake just to set the cart up. Farrelly, though, boy, look at the job this kid is doing. His father, Ted, prepares the cart. Junior drives it. Conium, they're so close.
And look at number 3. That's Chiaviti, Juliana Chiaviti, having a look.
And behind him, Tim Morphy, no more than a heartbeat away, followed by Duriez. And the last one, number 9, is little Daniel DeLeo. That group of carts is pulling away in the train. There you are. Chiaviti looks. Melanie Duriez looks. Will they? No. Farrelly, Conium the same. Chiaviti, Morphy, and Duriez. And DeLeo behind.
If you have no acceleration to make the move, where do you win in karting then?
You win at the end of the straightaway or into the corner or side by side. Sometimes the passes take 2 or 3 corners to produce, because you get beside, you go to the inside, you get hung up on the inside, you've got to run side by side down the straight, and you risk being passed by somebody else. Morphy looks again, trying to get by Chiaviti. And notice how sometimes the cart will hold the inside. Look at Farrelly down the inside. He's not giving up the inside line.
Farrelly, the 14-year-old from Guelph, Ontario, was the Ontario Karting Racing Association 1993 junior heavy champion, and showing some championship form right here as he continues to hold off the pack.
You'll notice as you look at their hands how steady they are on the wheel, how well they sit in the carts. Very little steering movement. They don't work the wheel too much. Very, very precise. The best racers start in 4-cycle racing.
And if you're wondering about, look at Chiaviti looking to the inside, thought she might dive inside. Chiaviti comes from a long racing background. In fact, Her father owns a kart track in Sutton, Ontario.
One of the most successful kart races in Ontario. His daughter doing very well. But there you go, Morphy behind Duriez. Duriez in front of Morphy now. It's the last lap. And can Farrelly hang on from Conium? Conium, one of the most determined young lads you've ever met. Chiaviti looking for a way by. And there goes Morphy inside Duriez. So now, oh, Chiaviti bobbled a little bit. Duriez to the inside. And to the flag. It's the last lap.
And it will be Farrelly holding off the charge
from Ryan Conium.
And Chiaviti will finish third. What a wonderful start to our Grand Prix of Barrie in the junior heavy.
A stunning upset by Melanie Duriez from Montreal, actually beating Tim Morphy, who some say is the fastest junior in Ontario.
Junior Farrelly, the winner, the 14-year-old from Guelph, Ontario.
Yeah, it was real important for me to win this one. It helps out a lot. It's there's a lot of entries here today, and it's great to beat them all.
First and foremost, it's got to be fun. The Grand Prix of Barrie on TSN.
From the Vault is brought to you by M-Zone, premium auto care proudly owned and made by Canadians. By Recap Recovery Drink. By WeatherTech. For the perfect fit and ultimate in-vehicle protection, nothing protects like WeatherTech. Order online at weathertech.ca. And by the Canadian Motorsport Hall of Fame. Visit our website for Hall merchandise.
Welcome back to Barrie, Ontario. From junior heavy, we go to the Sony senior heavy final, and we have a green flag.
It's a start. Brad Graham and Glenn Butler. Graham from Glencoe, Ontario, Butler from Whitby, two of the most competitive karters in Ontario in an extremely competitive class.
We told you that the pound weight class in junior was 280. Now it's up to 340 pounds here in senior. And there he is, Graham leading the train.
Now, Graham is racing an American-built chassis. Butler is in the Italian Barrel chassis. And Jake Collison in third is on an American Trick chassis. So we have different chassis. And Collison from Kitchener. Don't forget Butler from Whitby. And Graham from Glencoe. These kids are fast. Notice they duck down, reducing the turbulence, trying to get a little bit of speed. And Graham, this is remarkable in four-cycle to have Graham have such a pull on the others, and Butler and Collison are leading a train, and we have a very bad crash. Yellow is out.
And just like the junior event, thankfully though, nobody going end over end and up and over. But again, cars catching those hay bales. Let's ride with Rob McDonald.
Looks like somebody got loose. Now, as they come through, there's a wave black at all the corners. Arms go up. This is a red flag condition. They will stop, they will regrid, and restart the race.
All right, let's find out how it happened with Rob McDonald.
So what happened?
Well, let's see. We're going into about corner 4, I guess it'd be, just after the chicane. We're going onto the back straightaway. And one person clipped the hay bales and shot out in front of the track. And then one thing led to another. Everybody started piling up on each other. It must have been like 20 carts in that or something. I don't know, but it was chaos.
It was. Let's take a look while they're getting ready to restart the race. This is the latest technology in karting, transponder.
Right out of Formula One. This is a Dutch system made by AMB Products in Holland. A little rechargeable transmitter is put onto the kart, and on the side part or to the license number, there's the transponder, rechargeable. As the transponder passes over 2 wires buried under the track about 1/8 of an inch below, the trigger is made, goes back through a wire to a computer system. The computer sorts it all out. Here's Redoucette sorting it out on the program so that you get very precise timing. And you know, these kids are so close, so tight. They're a heartbeat apart. Thousands of seconds change the grid.
So the guesswork is taken out because of the really, which is, as you suggest, Formula One technology involved in karting.
The only difference between this technology and Formula One is the speeds. This system is good to 175 kilometers an hour. We have a restart, and we have Graham, number 31, in the lead.
Brad Graham, the 19-year-old from Glencoe, Ontario, the two-time world karting champion in Yamaha Senior, six-time Canadian champion, and he has stretched it out.
That's right. He has a remarkable lead. Now, he was on the grid almost 2 seconds clear. This is unheard of in four-cycle racing. But you can see how close the others. 52 is Gord O'Donnell. 6, Colin Turnbull from Kitchener. These karters are extremely competitive. Somehow, Graham has found something. Is it gearing? Is it the chassis? Whatever it is, he's in the lead.
And as he takes a comfortable look behind, and he must feel pretty good about it now, it's going to, I would think, take some mistake by him to allow the others to catch up.
That's right. Now, the mistake may be, Vic, looking behind. In karting, they say never look behind. If you take your attention off what's in front, you slow down. But the guys behind, here's the problem. Collison, very competitive. Butler never gives up an inch. If they don't work together, Graham will pull away.
Look at, we've got a move inside Collison. Collison has taken over second place. What a nice pass as he used the draft to get by Glenn Butler.
Vic, you're absolutely right. Perfectly timed. That trick chassis of Collison with some masterful driving. Absolutely. Pulled in front of Butler. Now he leads that train of Butler, O'Donnell, Turnbull, and number 40.
Oh, we had somebody go out right there. Driving, it looked to be the number 20, Glenn Arnold, putting his hand up. It looked like Arnold had some mechanical failure.
Glenn Arnold, a 3-time World Karting Association champion, not having a good day. Having a very good day, Jason Bradamore in number 40. Doesn't usually race in four-stroke, and he's hanging on to the train. Now we've got lap traffic. Graham looking behind a lot. Collison pretty comfortable. And Butler all over his back bumper.
But comfortably in front, it is Graham. Last lap, coming up on some traffic. Last chance for anybody to get up.
The only way now that Collison can beat Graham is if Graham gets tied up by these back markers as he goes round the last corner into the flag. What will it be? Graham by a mile in karting terms, followed by Collison.
Oh my
over
goodness. Butler trying it just at the line, falls a little short. But a comfortable win for the 19-year-old from Glencoe, Ontario, Brad Graham, ahead of Collison and Butler. Welcome back to the Grand Prix of Barrie. And what a marvelous location for this first ever event. It's a 4-season city, Barrie, Ontario. In the summer, on the shores of Kempenfelt Bay, Lake Simcoe, you can go boating. And then in the winter, not far from here, there is marvelous downhill skiing. The comparisons of this year's Grand Prix of Barrie to Monaco, Long Beach, they're obvious.
I've been a sports car racing fan for many, many years, and when the organizers of the Grand Prix of Barrie came to our office and came to the city and said, we want to put on a go-kart race through the streets of downtown Barrie, I immediately thought, what a wonderful opportunity. Monte Carlo, Long Beach, all those great motorsports events came to mind immediately, and I thought if we can do that even on a smaller scale here, it'll be a tremendous opportunity to showcase the city.
The number 99 of Paul Poole, the 27-year-old from London, Ontario, as we get ready for the Super A final.
310 pounds, 18,000 RPM, two-cycle racing engines. And beside him, Glenn Butler.
And along with him, a Sony camera. This is the ultra bright Super A final. And let's ride along with Glenn. Remember, he finished third in the senior heavy.
Kugler seizes the lead. Kugler from Germany over Poole, followed by Butler as they go down through the tight chicane. The hands are up. There's a yellow flag out.
So, and there they are. Problems. A couple of cars must have gotten tangled up in the pace lap.
That's right. Darren Jones and that's number 5, Eddie Wallace from Houston, Texas. They're out of the action. Kugler from Poole. Butler are right behind him. Giacomelli from Pennsylvania in the 23 car.
Kugler, originally from Germany, the 29-year-old, now makes his home in Niagara on the Lake, Ontario, where he works in a winery. And you talk about these direct drive. You can't stop these machines.
That's right. Well, you can slow them down, but if you stop, the engine stops. Look at Poole all over Kugler. Kugler, very, very good. He was third in the German championship in 1993.
But I tell you what, the first thing you notice, a little outside move by Poole, looking to get outside and around Kugler. How much faster these are.
These are 25 horsepower, very, very fast. There goes Poole on the inside. He takes it away from Kugler. Now Poole, very, very good. And I got to tell you, there's a difference here. Depending on the tire pressures that you start off with, your kart either comes in very quickly right away or it doesn't. I think Poole's was better, and he came in on the second lap and was able to get by.
Paul Poole, a 27-year-old from London, Ontario, has been racing karts since he was 10.
His father, Harvey Poole, from London, Ontario, is probably one of the best two-cycle engine tuners in Canada.
Look at how they really do four-wheel drifts around all the corners.
And they drive the cars loose, Vic. You'll notice they twitch them from side to side. The right foot is on the gas, the left foot on the brake, just a touch of the brake, and they pitch the car into the corner. They don't back off. Kugler looks behind. Giacomelli looks to go by Glenn Butler, and behind him, Norman Nicholas from Barrie, Quebec. It's tight, and it is fast. 150 kilometers. And whoa!
Into the hay bales, number 23.
Giacomelli from Pennsylvania out of the action. And look at that. Tony Ventresca from Guelph has moved up to fourth.
Giacomelli into one of the 2,400 hay bales that line this course, 0.8 kilometers here in Barrie, Ontario.
Riding with Butler. Look at this Sony picture. Wonderful shot as they drive down the main drag and bang into the corner.
It is a wild ride through the streets of Barrie, Ontario. It continues to be Poole, followed by Kugler, and we have a black flag. The race will end right here, a black flag.
Red flag at the start, black flag all around. The people stop racing and they drive back to the beginning. Vic, can you tell us what happened here as they come
I'm
up
not
to the
sure.
start?
The car that we saw over the hay bale was there from the beginning. As Poole now, as you suggest, cuts the engine, car comes to a stop. He will be your winner. This is the reason the hay bales, remember when Giacomelli went in, they dislodged the hay bales, and as the cars come by, have a look. The hay bales are actually blocking part of the course. So it'll be Poole, Kugler, Butler. Tony Ventresca comes from 9th to finish 5th. The Grand Prix of Barrie on TSN is brought to you by Minidisc from Sony, the smaller recordable compact disc. By Ultra Bright laundry detergent. And by Douglas Lincoln Mercury. And now we get ready for the ultimate in karting. These are the 125 shifters.
These are 6-speed motorcycle engines and gearboxes mounted in a car chassis. 385 pounds, about 45 horsepower. That is the clutch on the left of the steering column. On the right, the little shift lever, a sequential motorcycle shift. These karts have 4-wheel, full-floating disc brakes.
And are they a lot quicker than the Super A's?
They're a little quicker down the straight, and depending on the circuit, they're faster in lap times. But they are a blast, and they are standing start. This is number 5, Robbie McDonald, a junior champion, trying his hand at shifter karts.
The 17-year-old from Keswick, Ontario.
Standing start. And on the front row, Christian Gagnon from Montreal, Yancy Diato-Levy from Etobicoke, and Gagnon has the lead from Yancy Diato-Levy.
And so much depends on the standing start, as it does in Formula One racing and all formulas of racing. We wanted to show you just how quick these are. This is the Formula 125 final, and it would be a start-to-finish win for the 19-year-old from Belle-Isle, Quebec. His first race of the year, the 93 125 champion in Quebec, Christian Gagnon.
He wins it from Yancy Diato-Levy, who challenged him all the way in one of the tightest races we saw in karting.
The hand goes up as Christian Gagnon wins it over Yancy Levy, the 17-year-old from Etobicoke, Ontario.
It was a great weekend. Finished second, but it was tough against that first place guy from Quebec. It was a tough competitor, but we held our own. And we almost won, but just didn't have it.
This has been a wonderful weekend.
You know, these kids have a great time. Yancy, Diata, Levy, look at these kids just grinning from ear to ear on the podium. What a wonderful bunch. Karting really is the place to be.
And they'll all be back this summer. Mark it down, June 17th, 18th, the Grand Prix of Barrie. Now on behalf of John Powell and our entire crew, I'm Vic Rowder. Thanks for joining us. Till next time, goodbye from Barrie, Ontario.
Great to see future CASCAR standout Brad Graham win the senior heavy division. Next up, we'll visit the oldest street venue in North America. Enjoy the 1984 Grand Prix of Trois-Rivières.
We present an afternoon of North America's fastest and most spectacular racing cars, the Grand Prix Labatt de Trois-Rivières.
It's a favorite venue for racing drivers. The city of Trois-Rivières, Quebec, hosting the annual Labatt's Grand Prix for Can-Am and Trans-Am championships. The cars on the grid, watched by a near-capacity crowd of race fans.
Démarrez vos moteurs. Gentlemen, start your engines.
The 5-liter and 2-liter cars compete in the CRC Chemicals Can-Am Series, won last year by Quebec's Jacques Villeneuve. Leading the '84 championship struggle, Mike Rowe. The Irishman has been supreme, losing races only following mishaps or mechanical failures, but just a few points behind this man, Jim Crawford, last year's runner-up. Third on the grid, the fastest 2-liter, that of Swiss driver Marzio Romano. And Horst Kroll, the ever-present Canadian, is fourth on the grid and lies third in the championship standings. At the end of the warm-up lap, the cars are bunched as they come out of the Villeneuve corner. Suspended over the track, the starter watches. The green flag is dropped and the race is on. At the stadium corner, Rowe leads Crawford with Tim Campbell's 2-liter edging in front of Kroll to take third spot. The rest stream up to the clubhouse corner, a favorite passing place for many. Into the S's now. Watch Rowe's car twitch as he powers his way into the short lead. 500 horsepower in such small cars make them real handfuls around Trois-Rivières' twists and turns, but the little 2-liter cars with much less power will gain in this part of the road course. Rowe with Crawford close behind comes into view now. Start of the Boulevard des Four straight. Here is where the 5-liter cars of Rowe, Crawford, and Kroll will regain the ground lost in the twistier parts of the circuit. On Boulevard de Carmel, the fastest part of the course, heading towards the Dupaillet turn, Rowe stretches his lead. Then, powering out of the corner, he leads down the Rue de Colon straight ahead of Crawford, then Campbell, and Romano, who has moved ahead of Horst Kroll. Rowe slides into view at the Dupaillet turn, right on the limit, down Papineau and into the Ryan corner, while behind Crawford, Campbell, Romano, and Kroll are still locked in combat. Trois-Rivières is a racetrack which is really hard on cars. Rowe driving flat out, his lead 2.5 seconds at the end of lap 1, but behind Crawford is unperturbed, relaxed, easier on his car.
This is very hard on brakes, yeah. It's for a street circuit, it's quite wide. You throw the car around, it's quite fast. I like it. It's one of the better street circuits that we go to.
Off the track at corner 9, John Macaluso. Also stationary, Ron Canizares, who climbs out of his car as Rowe and Crawford come into view. Canizaire's race is over, but Macaluso will get it going again ahead of the struggle for third place, where the 2-liter cars have pulled out to short lead over Horst Kroll. Behind Rowe, Crawford continues playing a waiting game. His 1984 car has not performed as well as last year's version, in which he nearly grabbed the Can-Am title away from Jacques Villeneuve. Rowe's car, however, is virtually the same as the one he drove in 1983. He and his crew, they know it well. It's been refined and made more reliable without the need for development that Crawford's team has been forced to undertake. As the race progresses, Rowe's lead extends. By lap 30, the halfway point, it's over 4 seconds, and it's clear that victory for Crawford can only happen if the leader has a problem. The struggle for third spot rages. Kroll still frustrated by the 2-liter cars and by the fact that the Can-Am rules force him to refuel, while the smaller engine cars will continue to the end without stopping. They're so close, in fact, that even the leaders will be challenged, for the gassing up process will cost the 5-liter cars close to 30 seconds. On lap 42, Rowe will pit, and this is his strategy.
This is a 125 or 126 mile race, so it's a 1 pit stop race. Obviously, you stay out there as long as you can, maybe waiting for a yellow flag. Obviously, if it's a yellow flag, you'd pop in and take fuel on then, but if not, we just have to come in and make a fuel stop. It takes about 9 seconds to pour 11 gallons of fuel into it, but you usually lose about 20-25 seconds by the time you come into the pit and out of the pit.
And Rowe's crew don't let him down. Although Crawford has passed into the lead, the car was stationary for only 8 seconds, a time that Crawford's crew can hardly beat. So Crawford leads, but knowing he too will soon have to stop to refuel, his cushion isn't great enough to enable him to keep the lead over the hotly pursuing Mike Rowe. And 2 laps later, it's Crawford's turn to enter the pit. The fuel gushes in as in the background, Rowe goes back into the lead. Rowe's superb pit stop is equaled now by Crawford's crew. Rowe, Crawford, and both their teams are world-class professionals. Crawford rejoins the race in second place. Even after their pit stops, he and Rowe have maintained a comfortable lead over the rest of the field. And that's the way the race continued, Rowe increasing his lead over the ever-watchful Crawford, who is just seconds behind. But then, with only 7 of 60 laps remaining, suddenly Rowe is coasting. Clearly the fastest on the Trois-Rivières track. He is forced to watch Crawford now take his lead. He continues to coast. Broken drive shaft. The same problem which put him out of this very race last year, as Crawford passes him one more time to put Rowe a lap down. Then in the race's dying seconds, Crawford held up by Horst Kroll, trying to get by in the cars. They come together. But luckily, Crawford's damage merely slows him down, and he coasts for the remaining 2 laps, happy that he has enough of a cushion which the pursuing Romano, Campbell, and Kroll cannot overcome. Jim Crawford wins the CRC Chemicals Can-Am. Today's win dramatically closes the gap between him and Rowe in the championship standings. Romano drives a fine race to finish second, ahead of Campbell and Kroll. Mike Rowe was 5th.
From Bolton, England, James Crawford.
Welcome back to the Grand Prix Labatt of Trois-Rivières. A field of 24 Trans Am cars are lined up now, ready for the start of the Budweiser Trans Am. On the pole, Formula One ace Philippe Alliot, just ahead of Trans Am veteran Tom Gloy, but way back in 19th place is Willie T. Ribbs.
Trans Am is truly an international event. We got Philippe Alliot, who's been nicknamed Alley-Oop because he drives pretty wild. So he's over here mixing it up with us. This should be one of the, well, it will be the hottest Trans Am race in Trois-Rivières history.
It's a long way to go from 19th spot on the starting grid, but Ribbs is a charger, and all eyes will be on him in the early laps. An old favorite, past winner of the Trois-Rivières Trans Am, Canadian veteran Epi Wietzes. The local ace, Trois-Rivières specialist, second here last year, Quebec's own Richard Spinard. 1982 Trans Am Rookie of the Year, 5th on the grid, Californian Darren Brassfield.
Twice a 1984 Trans Am winner, second in the championship standings, Greg Pickett. In 1984, this man has finished in the top 3 8 times to lead the standings, Tom Gloy. And in pole position, Formula One ace Philippe Alliot puts on his helmet, ready for the start of this 35-lap race.
Messieurs, démarrez vos moteurs. Gentlemen.
Gloy's red and white Capri, beside Alliot's red Trans Am Firebird on the front row as the grid is cleared and the cars prepare to leave for their warm-up lap. From the outside, these cars look like those you and I drive on the street, but they only look like them. Underneath, every component is replaced, and these cars are highly developed race cars, producing 400 horsepower. And here we go. All eyes, not on the front, but on the back, where Willie T. Ribbs, white Capri. Watch for it. Number 64 will begin to charge. At the front, Gloy has jumped into the lead as he enters the S's. Behind, Alliot. Miller's white Porsche. Brassfield, Bob Lobenberg, Pickett, Wietzes, and Spinar. In the pack, Ribbs, white Capri, after only 2 turns, is up from 19th to 14th place. Just have a look. Now you can see why Trans Am racing is so exciting. On the Boulevard des Forges, a solid line of cars snaking down to turn 8. And in the pack, Ribbs passes yet another car. Now he is 13th. At corner 11, Gloy leads. Alliot second. Brassfield has moved up to third. You know, Gloy has never won at Trois-Rivières, but today everything so far seems to be going well. His Capri, ideally suited to Trois-Rivières' tight corners, and in 1984 has proved extremely reliable. Behind, it's Alliot and Brassfield. Miller is fourth, and behind him, Pickett, then Spinar. Incredibly, it's Ribbs ahead of Wietzes now. In less than a lap, Ribbs has passed 12 cars, and he is up to 7th place. At the end of lap 1, Gloy's lead over Alliot is 2 seconds, but attention is focused on the battle for 5th place. Pickett leads over the line, but going into the stadium corner, watch Spinard's red Corvette get inside and take over 5th spot. Shut out, Pickett slows. Ribbs seizes his chance, and brilliantly he passes Pickett as well. And then Ribbs outbreaks Spinard into the clubhouse corner, and out of our sight moves into 5th place. And then the pace slows just a bit. The oil flag, yellow caution are shown around the track as oil is cleared following a blown engine. Leading the race is Gloy, who knows exactly what is needed to win.
You make a lot of luck. It does take something beyond that. But when you got a crew like I've got, if you look at our history as a company, our finishing rate through Formula Atlantic, Super B, and Trans Am over the last 5 years, been 95% of the races we've entered, we've finished.
As the race restarts, Gloy has lost all of his advantage under the yellow caution, and as he approaches corner 8, Alliot moves out and takes the lead. Behind, Ribbs is now on Miller's tail, ready to pounce. After 10 laps, Alliot leads Gloy. Behind, Ribbs moves out and outbreaks Miller, claiming his 4th place. Now his sights are set on Brassfield, who is just ahead in 3rd. But up front, it is still Alliot, the Frenchman, making his debut in Trans Am, a style of racing largely unknown in Europe. The Frenchman saying he is very impressed with the professionalism of the series and the preparation of these Trans Am cars. They are every bit a racing thoroughbred as the Formula One cars he normally drives. Only 1 second separates Alliot's 1st place and Ribbs in 4th as they sandwich Gloy and Brassfield. But now Ribbs' progress is likely to slow down just a bit, for these men ahead of him are the cream of the Trans Am racing crop. In the excitement of the Ribbs charge, Alliot's drive mustn't be forgotten. He leads in his 1st race in a type of car radically different from the Formula One cars he normally drives. Behind Ribbs is Miller, Spinar, Pickett, and Epi Wietzes. In short races like this, there's no time for strategy. All these cars are driving flat out, each on the limit, struggling to stay ahead or struggling to make a pass. As the cars come into corner 11, the leaders jockeying about. Ribbs makes a move on Brassfield, diving inside, under-braking, and as they exit at the corner, have a look. Ribbs has now captured third spot, but the first 8 cars are all still together. This is what makes successful racing. Lots of cars, racing wheel to wheel. Trans Am is North America's longest running series because it has always been able to supply what the racing public wants, action just like this. The race continues, Alliot leading, but on lap 15, what a move. Gloy makes a great pass, surprising the Frenchman, diving inside, outbreaking him in classic style to move into top spot. Just behind, though, is Ribs. Now missing, however, from the leading group, Brashfield, who is in the pits, soon out of the race. After 18 laps, Gloy leads, but Ribs, who for 2 laps has been challenging Alliot, finally passes him. Ribs must win, as he well knows.
That means that we're all going to be going for it because they got to keep me in second and third to keep me from moving up in points. I got to win to move up in points. So that means we're going to be getting it on heavy.
The Trois-Rivières crowd has rarely seen such excitement. Gloy leading, and now Ribs makes his first mistake of the race. On the exit to the corner, his tail slides out, lifts his foot. Alliot, rounding the corner perfectly, gains and goes inside, but Ribs slams the door on the Frenchman. Alliot loses control, and he is out of the race. The Frenchman climbs from his car unharmed and surveys the damage. It's lap 20. Tom Gloy is first, Willie T. Ribs second. Both drive Capris, which are proving in pre-race predictions that here at Trois-Rivières they would be ideally suited to the track. But now Ribs' meteoric rise begins to fall, for Gloy is driving magnificently, fast, but without risk. The third Capri driver in this race is Pickett, who now begins to show. Here as Spinard goes wide, the smaller, more nimble Capri stays in tight, enabling Pickett to get the power on more quickly, and he goes up into third place. Now the Capris occupied the top 3 positions. And Spinard's troubles are not over. For now, Wietzes closes and begins to challenge the French-Canadian, while Pickett, the current championship runner-up, consolidates his third place. The battle for third continues. Pickett ahead of Spinard, pressured by Wietzes, who was the 1981 Trans Am champion. Unlike the other drivers in this race, Spinard is not a full-time racer. Today, he drives only because the team's #1 driver, David Hobbs, isn't available. It's a situation that makes Spinard's fine record even more noteworthy, but not one he enjoys.
I want something steady. You know, it's not very interesting to go from one car to the other car. You know, so far in 6 races, I've driven 5 cars this season. So it's pretty tough to get used to that, you know.
For some laps, Wietzes pressures Spinard, never more than a few feet behind. But now, Wietzes' car, have a close look, it begins to smoke. And although it doesn't seem to slow him down, he keeps up the pressure. At the front, it's still Gloy, driving fast, without really appearing to try, while behind, Ribs is all over the road. He's obviously in bad trouble. Ribs motions to his pit that he intends to come in. And his problems, they get worse. Later in the lap, still snaking as he fights his car for control, he knows he'll lose everything he's gained in this race if he's forced to make a pit stop. His tires, punished by his early charge, are worn out. Spinard and Wietzes continue their struggle, but unaware of Ribs' problems. Soon they'll be fighting for third place. On Boulevard du Carmel, Ribs has been passed by Pickett, and now Spinard closes. For Spinard, passing Ribs is easy. For now, the Capri is hardly drivable. Wietzes too passes Ribs. Spinard is third, Wietzes fourth. As Pickett passes the pit entrance, followed by Spinard and Wietzes, Ribs will make his way in to change tires. There are only 7 laps to go, so for Ribs, the race is virtually over. It's a sad end to Willie T's day, not only for him, but for the crowd too, who now won't be able to see the expected fight for the lead between the 2 Capri drivers. Tom Gloy now leads Greg Pickett, who holds the distinction of being the all-time Trans Am top money winner, and he's needed every bit of it. Till this year, he's always run his own team.
You can run a Trans Am for maybe $150 or $150 to $200,000 back when I was doing it, but now most of the budgets are approaching $1 million, $500,000 and up. So that really takes it out of the realm of any privateers.
Ribs won't give up. Tires changed. He smokes his way back into the race, just behind the continuing struggle for third place, which still rages between Spinar and Wietzes, whose car, although it now smokes very badly, is still as fast as ever. It's lap 27, and Wietzes is closer than ever. In the S's, he is almost touching Spinar's car. Watch him move out, then inches away. He forces behind Spinar just a few feet wide, and he's through. Spinar must now watch as Wietzes, now in the commanding inside position, powers his way through the corner and into the straight. Now with smoke billowing from his car, Wietzes stays ahead. You know, he's often been successful at this track, winning here in 1981. But this year, in his own car, a Firebird, he's hardly had a chance against the high-rolling efforts mounted by Ford.
I'm just going to run wide open and hope I will get the lead somewhere along the line. But, you know, the Capris are very tough cars to beat, and it seems that the Capris suit this racetrack probably a little bit better than anything else because of the short wheelbase.
Now it's lap 35, the last corner, the last few feet, and Tom Gloy has stayed well ahead of Pickett. His tactics have paid off. His car running just as well as it did at the start of the race. You know, throughout, Gloy has driven within himself, and even if Willie T. Ribs had challenged him, there's a feeling that Gloy was holding something in reserve. The checkered flag. And Tom Gloy has won the Budweiser Trans Am.
I really felt all along that if we could get through the first turn clean, that we could win the race. I didn't think there was a car that could run all day as hard as mine, and that's the way it worked out.
Tom Gloy is the winner. Greg Pickett second, third Epi Wietzes, fourth Spinar, and fifth Paul Miller. For all of us at trackside here at Trois-Rivières, good afternoon. Let's now return to Brian Williams at Sports Weekend Control in Toronto.
It was a big win for Tom Gloy. Good to see Canadian Motorsport Hall of Fame inductees Richard Spinard and Epi Wietzes in the race. Thanks for watching From the Vault.
From the Vault is brought to you by M-Zone, premium auto care proudly owned and made by Canadians. By Recap Recovery Drink. By WeatherTech. For the perfect fit and ultimate in-vehicle protection, nothing protects like WeatherTech. Order online at weathertech.ca. And by the Canadian Motorsport Hall of Fame. Visit our website for Hall merchandise.